pillar is bound and broken on the floor, dirty whore. Climb through the window of your circumstance and see the view.
I saw the view of the words of web pages forming in front of my eyes, and things were nearly picturesque as they described how wonderful things are here, that the civil rights movement started here, that there is little racism here, that things are a little bit more equal here, that the city is named because of the color of the grass on this side of the hill. Hear their voices. Look at our bike paths, they cried. On buses, we've got parks and safe streets. Our police always and only catch the bad guys. We've got an international population worth noting and an early college program which is ranked 14th in the country. Local business still exists. Guilford is run by Quakers. It was an underground railroad stop. And no, racism doesn't exist there either. Hear their voices. We've got band-aids for every shade of skin, brand name progressive, and so they perpetuated this mystique, referring to here as if we were in Avalon beyond the mist, or in its later incarnation as Camelot. The Piedmont is at the base of Olympus. Before Epimetheus opened the box belonging to his wife, here was Eden, the new garden, the spring garden, and Adam and Eve were our founders. Noah settled here after the flood. A slice of Zion in America between the battleground and the sun west over the mountains, where we have built our star mount and friendly centers to keep us out from the cold truth.
Somewhere between the haves and nots, find the key and turn it over. Unlock the truth.
And the truth is spelled with a capital T. Greensboro is stuck in the allegory of the cave, actually becoming the actuality of the cave, where strip malls are built over the voice of Greensboro, which disturb the earth in such a way stories are leached into the watershed connected to the faucets. Hear their voices as they speak to us of how there were plantations and factories. There are now police stations and prison cell neighborhoods, bars on the windows. And KRS-One must have been here to know that overseers have become officers, and the officers oversee us to make sure the wrong kind of people don't end up on the wrong side of the tracks. But where were the officers when Cain killed Abel? When the jealous brother killed the shepherds of the Communist Workers' Party? And this winter was a cold one. Valhalla is not too far off, and bell hooks taught me we are all teachers and students. So let us learn from those below us in this pyramid until, like recent nutrition facts, there is no pyramid. Learn their stories, the outline of their breath in the cold. Understand the issues behind the stories that they've told. Bridge the gap between personally responsible and social justice-oriented citizenship. We are the citizenship of Noah, where there are two truths of every kind, that of the history books and those of the people. This is folk poetry from the folk voices, democratic poetry, where it's not the majority, but like the grasshoppers, I speak in leagues of minorities, like the hundreds of churches, one with a Starbucks in the lobby, and churches with community organizers with dreams of renovating that old building. These are the progressive mystics, talking about paradigm remixes. And in case you missed it, Greensboro needs fixes like children need kisses, not playgrounds like ditches or Jorge with stitches. Bring the city up by its britches, take away the tracks and replace them with bridges.
Cold feet, cold hands, cold eyes, cold men, cold men, cold men. Holy barrier, lasted mass that stands to dissipate. Is this what you choose? Open the door and follow suit. You can't deny what's there in front of you.
The future's there in front of you. See yourself in the looking glass. Tomorrow we can make a city which resembles how we speak of it. Follow Martin Luther King back to Robert E. Lee, recollect our past more clearly, understand the gifts of our present, where groves in Florida betwixt themselves in a land of glens and woods, leading to that road that points high above anything we as a city have ever been. We are all teachers, students, citizens, even if we feel like denizens. We are all drinking this water which instills in us a story, even if we build strip malls or thicken our skin. Greensboro has not yet moved beyond, and how can it without that push? Yes, we have people from all around the world, refugees who here are treated like refugees. Yes, we have good schools, and we have some bad ones too. We have tasers, metal detectors, and police overseers in between our standardized tests, and teachers too fed up to give a damn about a young black boy or a young Latino boy and why they've given up on teachers that never gave them a chance. So how do we build these bridges, keep the toxic waste out of our neighborhoods, and actually enact equal opportunity? Doc Noah's Ark on our port of unity. Tell your stories, hear the voices, listen with more than ears, never believe that the majority is always right. Vote the way of non-oppression, and in the in-between, look around and ask, why are these places so different? Even in the same city, in a city striving towards democracy, community. It is no longer acceptable to be personally responsible. Forget what school taught you about learning and begin to teach how to question. Let's forget about our skin tone band-aids and think about why folks are being cut in the first place. And even if you can't see the scars, our city is eternally bleeding.